This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone, and yep, I am Rob McConnell, still here after 26 years of doing this show, Monday through Friday, from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, not only on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, but also on the Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, right across Europe on Radio X, the IPBN Network, Angel Broadcast Network, and of course our good friends on iHeartRadio. If you'd like to send an email, xzone at xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And if you'd like to find out what great programming we have available for you, 7/24/365 on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit www.xzbn.net. X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour is Debi Chestnut, and Debi has been able to see and speak to ghosts her whole life. A paranormal researcher for more than 25 years, Debi gives lectures and conducts workshops to help people better understand paranormal activity. Her books on the paranormal are Something Wicked, Stalking Shadows, How to Clear Your Home of Ghosts and Spirits, Is Your House Haunted, and Ghosts of Anchor Bay. She resides in the state of Michigan, and joining me now is Debi Chestnut. And Debi, welcome to the X-Zone. Great talking to you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. How you doing tonight?
You're the psychic, you tell me.
I don't read the living. I just talk to the dead.
Oh, well, boy, am I ever glad you can't read me then. That's the best news I've had in a long time. How did you, at what tender age did you first start seeing and speaking to the departed?
As long as I can remember, my actual first memory, I think I was about 4 or 5, and I spent a lot of time at my great aunt's house, and no one ever used the second floor, but it was a great place to play if you were a little kid. There was all kinds of great stuff up there.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a spirit up there named Nathaniel. And he was the first one I remember, because our friendship went on for many, many years. And it was a really good first experience.
With your experience with Nathaniel, I believe you said?
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever change in age, or did his age stay the same as you grew older?
His age stayed the same as I grew older.
Wow. And how did he happen to be on the other side at such a young age?
He had been born mentally disabled, challenged, and he was born in the Victorian era. Mm-hmm. And back then they kept people with those disabilities either like up in an attic or away from the public. And his house had been torn down to make way for a gas station. And it was 3 houses away from my aunt's. And because the upstairs reminded him of where he'd been kept.
Yeah.
And no one ever went up there except for me. He was very comfortable being there.
How long did the friendship last?
My aunt died when I was 15, and my dad sold the house and it ended. And then when I got married at 20, I think I was 19 or 20, my dad sold us the house. And I remember walking in the house, and the first thing I did was run up to the second floor to see if Nathaniel was still there. And I walked actually into a big ghost bear hug, which kind of feels like walking into Jell-O.
Right.
And he was so happy to see me, and I was happy to see him. And he stayed for a while until I had a baby, and my son started talking to him. And I said, it's not fair for you to be here. You really need to go. You'll be made whole once you go into the light. And it took me a while to convince him, but he actually did go into the light.
Right.
And the day we moved out of that house, I was the last one in it. And I went upstairs just to make sure everything was out of the house. And when I turned around from my son's room, Nathaniel was standing in the doorway, and he was whole and he was healed.
Gosh.
And he was happy, and he just looked at me, and I looked at him, and he went, "Thank you."
Wow, that's a great story. Please stand by. We've got to take a commercial break. Debi, Exonation, if you'd like to find out more about Debi Chestnut, visit her Facebook page, The Paranormal Realm. And Debi and I will be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Hello, I'm Pete Marsh. With my daughter Justina, we will be presenting the new radio show, Too Good to Be True. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But with the help of Justina's amazing gifts, we're going to gain insight into questions that don't yet have complete answers. Have you wondered who built Stonehenge and for what reason? Why are crop circles found in the same region as Stonehenge and elsewhere? Are crop circles a hoax, or are they created with technologies that we have little knowledge of? Who built the pyramids in Egypt and also in other countries? How and why were they built? Was the Titanic switched with the Britannic as part of a gigantic insurance fraud, or for more insidious reasons? What caused the Tunguska event when trees were flattened over an 800 square mile area in Siberia? Will the new insights be too good to be true? Well, that will depend on what you are prepared to believe. Please join us as we start on this journey together. For more information on Too Good to Be True, visit www.xzbn.net.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Welcome back, everyone. Debi Chestnut is our special guest. If you'd like to find out more about Debi, check her out on Facebook. The Facebook page is The Paranormal Realm. So here you had this experience with this young Nathaniel, and I was really happy to hear it had a happy ending. But is he still around? Is he still tied to this realm that we call reality?
No, he crossed over.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, he had just popped back in to say thank you, and then he was gone. He hasn't been back.
How did he first introduce himself to you?
He just kind of showed up. He was very childlike, even though he was, adult size. Mm-hmm. He was just very childlike, and he just wanted to play. He wanted someone to talk to, and then when he discovered I could talk to him, I would spend so much time up there. I'd just play and I'd color and we'd talk, and my parents thought I had a really nice imaginary friend, and it was just easier to keep it that way. This is back in the very early 60s. Mm-hmm. So doing what I do normally would get you into a mental institution. So.
Oh, come on.
No, really.
Really?
I mean, yeah, really. I mean, if you do what I do, my parents, when they realized that I could really see them, they, thought I was schizophrenic, and I was drugged to psychologist after psychologist. And, I came real close to being institutionalized.
My goodness. I'm glad you weren't, because what you and other people who do what you do are doing you're helping people who need help.
Yes, that's how I look at it. I think it's a gift.
It is.
And I don't charge for my services because I think it just should be shared, and because it was given to me, I think I need to give it to other people. I think.
Yeah. Why do you think, Debi, that little spirits like Nathaniel and older spirits just remain on this side? What are they afraid of?
Sometimes they don't realize they're dead. Those are the most difficult, actually. Mm-hmm. Some have a message they want to give to someone. Some of them just don't want to leave. They were happy alive, and they just want to keep in contact with the living in some way. Some of them are vengeful. They want revenge. They think someone wronged them. Like the movie Ghost, that was a perfect example of a avenger spirit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then once whatever their need is, and I think my job with the spirit is to find out what do you need. And once I know what they need and I can figure out a way to give it to them, they're going to go. They're released. They're gone.
So how true to the way that you see and hear those on the other side was Ghost?
It was actually, in some ways, pretty accurate. I mean, people think like I'm one of those really touchy-feely people, but if I meet someone I don't know, if they approach me and say hi, I have to reach out and touch them because I've been tricked before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you take that whole thing about reach out and touching someone a little bit further. I
have to like touch their arm or something to make sure that they're real sometimes. Sometimes I can tell, sometimes I can't. So, I mean, they've gotten me a couple times really well, and I just don't fall for that anymore because it's quite embarrassing.
So when did you start, or why did you start ghost hunting?
Actually, I started in college. One of my psych professors was a parapsychologist, and I'd never heard of one before. And he would come in on Monday mornings and he'd tell us about places he investigated. And I was so interested. And one day he held up a picture of a house he'd investigated, and I just locked into it. And I just started telling him everything about that house, like who had lived there, who had died there, how they died. I managed to clear the classroom because I freaked people out. And then he said, we need to talk. And he was the first person that ever like explained to me what it is I have and how to use it. And I started ghost hunting with him on the weekends. That was my first taste of ghost hunting, and then I was hooked. That was it.
Why do they call it ghost hunting? Because usually when you go hunting deer, you kill it. You go hunting rabbits, you kill it.
You kill it. You go hunt a ghost, they're already dead.
That's right. So why do they call it ghost hunting?
I know. I don't know. I usually say like paranormal investigations
or that.
Something like that. But everyone says ghost hunting, and because you are out looking for ghosts, you're hunting for ghosts.
So.
I guess.
Okay.
I kind of prefer paranormal investigator. It sounds
professional. Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what is the hardest part then of being a professional paranormal investigator?
For me, the hardest part is seeing people being terrorized by spirits because they don't understand them. They don't understand what's going on. And educating some of these people, I think, is the hardest part for me because I have to make them understand something that either for religious reasons they have a hard time accepting, or they never believed in ghosts or spirits, and all their beliefs have literally been shaken to their foundation. And I know what that feels like. I've had it happen. And it's just that, for me, that's the hardest part. Sometimes dealing with a violent spirit is difficult, only because I worry about the safety of my team.
Now, how many members are there in your team?
I actually belong to two. I belong to Shadow Stalkers, which is my cousin and myself, and we're bringing in...
What's going on, dear?
Okay, we're bringing in a couple more investigators, and I belong to Black River Paranormal, and there's about 9 or 10 of us in Black River.
Right. So how many investigations do you do in a month?
Actually, our busy season's just starting. We don't hunt a lot in the winter, just because of the holidays and people are busy and the kids are going back to school. So I would probably do 2 or 3 a month.
Wow.
I try to keep it, like at 2. Like right now I'm working on another book, so I'm not doing any till after June 1st because that's when the book is due. So
do you do all of your investigations at night, or do you do day and night?
I like to go during the day, like late afternoon, get the feel for the place, kind of see it in the daylight. Spirits, they don't care if it's day or night. If they're going to be there, they're going to do whatever they do day or night. So I like to go during the day, kind of talk to the people, walk around, get my base readings, that kind of thing. And then, we'll usually go out and get a light bite to eat. Then we'll come back and we'll start the investigation at night. In the meantime, we've got our equipment up. It's been running the whole time we've been gone. And, we do base readings again because things change at night. Your base readings are going to change a little bit. And
I would imagine it's safer for you and your team to do it when you can see what you're up against as far as the location. And I could never understand why ghost investigators or researchers would actually want to do it at night, since the ghost is going to be around.
I actually prefer the night. Not for any paranormal reasons, I just like the atmosphere at night. Everything's quieter.
Yeah.
The day's winding down. It's nice and quiet. And a lot of times the clients report to me that the activity is more prevalent at night. So I want to be there when they're experiencing, at the times they've experienced the activity. If it's during the day, I'm going to go during the day. Before I go out, it's a good 2 or 3 week lead time before I go out to a location, unless it's an emergency. And I have them keep a journal. Tell me what happened. Tell me who was there. Tell me what time it was.
Right.
Tell me what happened. Tell me how it made you feel. I have a detailed journal I make them keep, and then they send it to me a couple days before the investigation. And that kind of determines what time we're going to go out there, because then I know what times the spirit is more active.
Have you ever been scared during an investigation?
Oh, scared to death.
Well, let's not go that far.
I have, in 30 years, there are 2 locations I have been chased out of. I've gone back, but I've been chased out of them at one point or another.
Could you share them with us?
The one was the house on the hill, better known as the Hathaway House. It was a big deserted, big mansion. It was huge. It was 6,000 square feet, 3 floors. 3,000 square feet was the addition someone had put on after the Hathaways had lived there. That was what I call the neutral zone. Spirits wouldn't go there.
Right.
So that told me that the spirits were there before 1905, because that's when the addition was put on. And a couple of spirits I figured out. One was the son of the original owner. One was his daughter. Then I went in the basement. And the basement in that house, the one room in this basement in that house, I had never felt anything like that. Absolutely never.
What did it feel like?
It felt like hell.
Wow.
It well, the freaky, they back up. The first time I walked into that house, I heard the spirit say, "Welcome home, we've been waiting for you." And I should have known then that I was in trouble, and I ignored it. And the basement, it was the only room with a dirt floor. It was long. It was very long, narrow. And because you walked in like at the back of the room, so toward the front of the room would have been the front of the house. And there was a hole in the wall that went under the front porch. And I walked in that room and I said, I have never felt anything. It felt dark. It felt heavy. My fight or flight instinct immediately kicked in. And I didn't know why, because I couldn't decipher the energy. Like, I couldn't get images. I couldn't zone in on it. So I started walking in further into this room toward this hole and in the wall, and something came at me. I couldn't even see it. It was just a wall of energy. Everything went bright red, then it went black, then it went white.
Oh my gosh.
Like a split second, and I was out of there.
Speaking about out of there, we've got to get out of here right now because we're coming up against the news break at the bottom of the hour. Debbie, don't go anywhere. Please stand by. Exonation, Debi Chestnut is our special guest this hour. And you can find out more about Debi and her cruise at let me see, the Paranormal Realm on Facebook. Gosh, she's got me scared. I'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Dreams are our personal gateways into infinite wisdom. Don't miss shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Corcoran's inspiring book, Shamanic Awakening Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles Sandra's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers and her initiations throughout the Americas and across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt. Sandy's knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private tarot readings, international journeys, a meditative CD, as well as her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate this earth walk, creating a deeper connection to yourself and all that is. Find this and more at Sandy's website, starwalkervisions.com.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Hello, I'm Justina Marsh, and with my dad Pete, we are going to present a new show called Too Good to Be True. Together, we are aiming to discover more truths about this world and beyond. Do you have unanswered questions about the world? Do you ever wonder about aliens, conspiracy theories, or the universe? There are many shows discussing subjects such as pyramids or UFOs, but we want to relay this information based on our own research, including from spiritual means. Hopefully, listeners will be helped with their own beliefs and will appreciate the psychic insights that add to the previous research and information. We both look forward to sharing this insight and beginning this journey with our listeners. Visit xzbn.net for more information about when to listen.
Debi Chestnut is our guest on Facebook. You can find her at The Paranormal Realm. Debi, during the commercial break, you and I were talking about your 5-year encounter with this demonic entity. During those 5 years, did you ever find out who it was or why they were targeting you?
I found out who it was. Only because I had a very good friend who happened to be a demonologist, and it showed itself to me at one point.
What did it look like?
I only saw it from what you would call the waist up, I guess.
Right.
The head was like a wolf. A huge wolf. Big teeth. It had hooves. I remember the front hooves. It was kind of like a gray, blackish color. It had like these horrible gold red eyes. And it scared the crap out of me. It was horrible.
Why did it target you?
It targeted me. Well, I have to say, in all fairness, I have to be fair, it played fair. It gave me so many warnings and so many chances to walk away, and I didn't take it.
What kind of chances or warnings were you given?
When I first walked up to the house, before I even walked through the door, I heard like a big growl, like a Rottweiler or a huge dog. And I asked my friend who was with me if the people that own the house had a dog, and she said no, and we didn't see any anywhere around. That was warning number one. Warning number two was when it rushed at me in the basement, and I came back. I can't remember the other one. It gave me a lot of chances to walk away, and I didn't. And that's because demons have one rule that they have to abide by.
What's that?
They cannot enter your life unless they're invited. However, they take that rule literally. Like if you move into a house and there's a demonic entity in it, even if you don't know it's a demonic entity, if you think it's just a ghost and you don't leave the house, to them, you've accepted it into your life. That's how literal they are.
I'm sorry.
By me going back to the demonic, I had accepted it.
So what did you and this demonic entity do for 5 years?
I was really stupid. I kept going over there and poking with a stick to see what it did, how it would react, because
you're one brave lady.
I wanted to learn about it. You know, I'd never run into one. I wanted to know everything I could find out about it. And it would react. And then it started going after my friends. You know, I'd take someone not in the house, just drive them by the house and show them the house. I wouldn't take anyone in there. And a couple days later, they'd be in a car accident, or one of their family members would be in a serious car accident, or just something would happen. Someone would get really sick, or so I quit talking about the house. That was the demon isolating me.
So
by the time I realized what was going on, I was like a spider in its web. I had to fight my way out.
How did you do that?
First of all, I knew its name. Its name was Amon. He's a lower prince. He commands 30 legions of demons. Each legion is 10,000 demons. So approximately 300,000 demons he commands. I came up with a plan. I said, this has got to end. Because he was starting to attack me at home.
Oh, boy.
And I was afraid for my family. I said, I got to get rid of this thing. So I came up with a plan. I drew on a lot of different belief systems and religions and came up with a ritual to get rid of him. And I was just about there. I was right in the middle of the ritual, and I stopped. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he said, why did you stop? I said, because if I get rid of you, I'm no better than you, and I'm way better than you. Now, if I had the chance, I would have gotten rid of him.
Has he come after you since?
He shows up occasionally, once or twice a year. He'll pop in. I'd feel his energy, and I'll go, yeah, I know you're here. You know, I'm not afraid of you anymore, and he'll leave. So it's just no matter where you go, no matter what you do, I could always find you kind of thing. It's an intimidation tactic that's common among demons, and I just don't fall for it anymore. I'm not afraid of him anymore because I know I have the power to get.
Now, what was the second one that you were telling us about?
The second demonic was in a house we investigated. It on the property there was, I don't know, it was 40, 50 acres, and we'd always heard rumors that there had been an old church on the property somewhere that had been deserted, and then it was taken over by a satanic cult, and this was the property. Well, we never found the church, but it was way too much property for us to cover. And it was in the house. It was bothering one of the teenage girls. And, you know, I had to go in and get rid of it. I had to get rid of it. And we were getting ready to do the ritual. And I walked by the ghost box, which I didn't know James had left on. And this demonic voice comes out and says, "You're going to die." And I just looked at the box and I went, "Yeah, you're right, I am, but it's not going to be tonight." And I got rid of that one. The second house I got run out of, it was actually a church. I got run out of a church by a very dark entity. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was demonic, but it was a dark entity. And I wasn't expecting it in a church, and it caught me off guard, and I ran. I just ran until I could like regroup and try to figure out why there's a dark entity in a church. And it was actually up in the steeple area of the old part of the church. It was an interesting case. There were 3 or 4 spirits there. That was a good case.
How does the rest of your group react to these kind of actions from spirits and demons? Like, you seem to be pretty cool about this all. Are they the same?
You know, I think over the years, I think you just have to be that way because otherwise it'll make you crazy. You know, the team's really good. We have code words. Like if I go through a place and it's not something we're expecting, I'll say a code word. They know to leave the house immediately. Meet me outside. We're going to regroup.
Right.
And I'll tell them what's going on.
So how do you guys protect yourselves from these negative
that's
forces?
It's kind of interesting because we're all have so many different belief systems. Like, you know, we have a Buddhist, we have we have a pagan, we have a Wiccan, we have a Catholic, we have a Presbyterian, we have me that's more spiritual than religious.
You've got every base covered.
Yeah, every member of the group has their own thing they do to keep themselves protected.
And what do you do?
Me, I keep up a very strong wall. Very strong protection, very strong shield.
Right.
And the only thing I find that with the gift, if I have the shield up real hard, I can't feel or see what I need to feel and see. So a lot of times I just drop shields and go in, and because I have to be able to, you know, communicate with these things or at least figure out what's there. But I can throw up my shield at a second's notice. It's the team I'm more concerned about. My thing is, you know, if something's going to come after anybody, I want it to come after me, and I want it to come after my team.
What does your family think about your exploits as a paranormal investigator?
You know, I keep them out of it a lot. You know, my son and daughter, they know what I do. They're cool with it. You know, it's just not talked about much. My husband's an engineer, and he says everything can be explained by science. And I just look at him and say, "Yeah, explain what I do." And he goes, "Well, yeah, I can't."
Does he ever go with you on any of your... No, eh?
No, he never goes.
That would be interesting, seeing a spirit or being faced with a demonic entity and, you know, you poking him in the ribs, say, "Okay, guy, now explain that scientifically."
Yeah, explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've asked him to go. I'm like, you know, we could use a really good tech person.
Yeah.
You know, just come with us and set up the equipment, hang out, you know, watch the cameras. You know, and he won't go. He won't go.
Why do you think here we are in the year 2017 that so many people are showing just so much interest in the paranormal, especially ghosts and ghost hunting?
I think a lot of it has to do with all the television shows that have been on TV for the past few years. I think that's the majority of it. They've brought it more mainstream than it ever has been before.
But as a professional, doing what you do all these years, do you find these television shows are an asset or a hindrance to a professional investigator like yourself?
Sometimes, depending on the show, sometimes they're an asset because some of the shows really do educate people in some way about the spirits and ghosts. And in that way, it's good. But in other ways, you have some people on the shows, some shows that go in there and they hot dog it and they're provoking and they're antagonizing. And
I find that totally disrespectful when they do that.
I do too. I won't do that.
Yeah.
There's only been one spirit I provoked, but I did it for a very good reason.
Well, not to mention the demon you provoked for 5 years.
Well, yeah, that too. But
man, you're a ballsy lady, I'll tell you.
I am. Either that or I'm just really stupid.
No. You're far from being stupid. You're far from being stupid.
No, I do have a lot of guts. There's not that much that I could say scares me anymore.
Wow.
Not that I don't get scared, because I do. I still get scared sometimes. Mm-hmm. But, fear is the enemy. And with some types of spirits, if you show fear, they have you.
They feed off your fear.
Yeah, they feed on fear. It makes them more powerful. So I try to really hide the fear. My team's really good about hiding fear. If it gets overwhelming for them, they'll just come up to me and go, I need a break. And it's like, go ahead. And they go outside, they walk around, I go out and check on them. Are you okay? What's going on? You don't have to go back in if you don't want to. I'm not going to make someone go back into a location that's freaking them out or making them afraid, of course. And, we're really good about that. We're real cognizant of
others' needs.
And, I have to say, though, I have we have a really good team of investigators, and there's not much that rattles them anymore.
Sounds like you've got a great gang, and you and I have to take our final break. Please stand by, Debbie. Exonation, Debbie Chestnut is our guest. Her Facebook page is The Paranormal Realm, and we're talking about ghost hauntings, things that go bump in the night, with one tough cookie here. And again, her name is Debi Chestnut. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and Debbie and I will be back on the other side of this break as we wrap up this hour from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world. There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the 4 corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
All right, just imagine this, Exonation. You're a ghost researcher, paranormal investigator. You come across a demonic entity or a spirit. If that was me, I'd run. And I'd say to hell with it. But oh no, what does Debi Chestnut do? This little pistol that we have on the show this hour, she provokes it for 5 years. Well, no, she banters with it for 5 years. That would be like watching The Exorcist for 5 years solid.
Oh, come on. The Exorcist is one of the best comedies ever made.
Yeah?
Yeah. And you want to hear the worst part about that house?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some of the bricks from when they tore it down.
Why?
Because I love that house. It has the energy in it. I can feel the energy of the house in it.
Well, we know for a fact that the house that was shown in the film was that was supposed to be in Washington, I think, and the actual house is somewhere out in St. Louis.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how different from the sensationalistic Hollywood movies is what you do? Is it totally different? I mean,
It's
we
like
talked
night and
about
day.
Ghost.
It is like night and day.
Like, are you like those Ghostbuster ladies that were in the theater last year?
No.
No?
Nothing. You know, I'm very low key. take the team in, put up our equipment, and we spend hours just talking to air, hoping something happens, trying to get something to happen. You got to figure we have 4 video cameras, 6 tape recorders going. So for a 4-hour investigation, we probably have 100 hours of audio and video to go through.
Wow. And how long does that take you?
It takes us about 2 weeks to get through everything. And then, we mark stuff, we keep logs, and if we find something, then we'll send that clip to one of the other investigators and go, hey, are you hearing what I'm hearing? We always check and balance ourselves.
That's a good
so
idea.
it's not as exciting as it sounds. It's fun, but
So tell me, have you ever done an exorcism, or have you seen an exorcism, and if so, do they work?
I haven't. I don't do what's called an exorcism like you see on TV.
Yeah.
I have the own ritual I use to get rid of negative entities, entities that aren't negative. I generally try to talk to and find out what it wants, and we figure out a solution, and then it leaves on its own. I'm not going to force it out. If it's a negative entity, it's going to be gone. I just don't play. And, as far as the Catholic rites of exorcism, it's what everyone's most familiar with. Yeah, I think it can work. I think it can work.
Why is it some people get possessed and other people don't?
I think a lot depends on the personality makeup of the person. If they're a negative person, if they use drugs, if they abuse alcohol, if they have a lot of negative emotions themselves, like a violent temper, those kind of things are attractive to a demon. If they're a weak person, if they're, there's a lot of different things that can pull it in, and it's going to be a target. So it's going to pick a target. I hate it when they go after kids. You don't go after a little kid.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I find that there's something going on in the house that attracted it there in the first place.
Is there anything that someone can do to protect their home against the negative entities?
I'd recommend burning sage, or get a smudge stick and smudge your house. I do mine probably every other week. I smudge my house. I burn a lot of frankincense and myrrh incense. People can do that. I find that's very effective. Even when I do radio shows and I know what I'm going to be talking about, I still have the incense burning. Just be positive, be proactive. If you think you have a spirit in your house, that's my biggest piece of advice, is don't be afraid, be proactive. And if it's being violent and throwing people downstairs or scratching people, or, in some way you feel physically threatened, then you need to seek help. Don't try to handle it yourself.
Does having a crucifix in your home or having holy water actually fight against evil?
I don't know whether it fights against it. I think it can help, although, I've walked into houses that have been filled with religious paraphernalia, crosses, Bibles, bowls of salt, bowls of holy water, and I've seen crosses turn upside down. So, I think a lot of it has to do with the people that are there. And don't just have it out for show. Have it out because you really believe in it. Don't put it out because you're scared. If it's like anything, if you don't believe 100% in what you're doing, don't do it. And that's my philosophy for ghost hunting. And when I try to get rid of a spirit, if I don't believe 100% that I can get rid of that spirit, and I don't believe in what I'm doing, I might as well give up now, because it's not going to work.
What kind of person makes the best paranormal investigator? What does that person have to have in them?
I think what really makes a good investigator is a healthy dose of skepticism. You know, don't believe everything
Yeah.
you see. Don't believe everything you hear. You know, really think about what's going on in that house. Look for natural causes, organic solutions. I can't tell you how many ghosts we've debunked because there were high EMFs in the house, because their circuit breaker box had problems. And
Whoa, wait a sec. How does that affect, do people think they have ghosts in their house if there's
yeah,
too much?
high EMFs. That's why
Yeah.
you hear like a lot of ghosts are in basements. Everyone thinks their ghost is in the basement.
That's where the
And
fuse
they
box
usually
is.
feel it by the washer and dryer. Well, normally by the washer and dryer is your circuit box.
Yeah.
And if the circuit box, there's something wrong with the circuit box, it's going to emanate high electromagnetic fields. And science has proven that the high EMFs, has a profound effect on the human body. It can make you feel like you're being watched. It can make you paranoid. It can make you feel like you're being touched. A lot of the things that mimic what you would think would be a ghost, but it's really due to high EMF. So that's the first thing we check when we go into a house. We take our EMF readers and we head for the circuit box.
How do people react to you when you come back up and say, listen, we found what the problem is. There's an electrical problem. Here's our EMF reader. Here's the reading. This is what's normal, and this is where you are. How do they react to that?
Some people are very relieved, and some people are angry. No, there's a ghost here. I know there's a ghost here. You're wrong. So, you know, we'll do the ghost hunt just to appease them. And then in the report I send them, I'll tell them, you know, we did not find any ghost. There's no spirit there. You have an electrical problem. Please, please get a hold of a qualified licensed electrician, because it's very dangerous for you to have that in your house. There could be an electrical fire, etc.
Exactly.
You know, so, you know, I'm not going to get into a big confrontation with a client who's bound to determine there's a ghost there.
Sure. How do you deal with skepticism in general?
You know, I just tell them, like, if they can, I mean, I have people come at me all the time and say, I don't believe in what you do. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, you're entitled to your opinion, just like I'm entitled to my opinion. And, you know, I respect your beliefs. I just ask you to respect mine in return.
What are your final thoughts for people listening tonight? What are the do's and what are the don'ts when it comes to being a paranormal investigator? Because I'm sure there's people out there tonight who, after hearing you talk, are saying, hey, this is something I'd like to do.
Don't go in it for the wrong reasons. Go in it because you have a thirst for knowledge. You really want to find out what's going on. You really want to try to advance the field of paranormal research. You really want to find evidence. Don't go in it because it's fun. Don't go in it for entertainment. Don't go into it because you want to be scared. If you want to be scared, to go to a movie.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who would actually take fun in, I mean, besides you, of course, taunting a demonic entity for 5 years.
You know, and I would also say, you know, have a strong set of instincts. If something doesn't feel right, something's not right.
Where can people take courses on becoming a paranormal investigator?
You know, Bishop Long teaches a really good course online. I can't remember his website, but he's on Facebook. You find Bishop James Long. He's been on a lot of the paranormal shows. He actually has a really good course, and he covers, you know, angels and demons and paranormal investigation, and it's actually a very good course. James Van Prague also teaches some courses that are very good. I've actually taken a couple of his. They were very good.
Hey, Deb, I hate to do this, but we've run out of time for tonight. I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure talking to you, you little spunky devil, you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, listen, do me a favor. Take care of yourself and come back and see us again.
You too. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye-bye, Deb.
Bye.
Exonation, one little pistol there, I'll tell you. I wouldn't want to be a demonic entity against her. No way. I'll stay my distance and I'll stay in the hole in the wall. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And for more information about Debi Chestnut, visit her Facebook page, The Paranormal Realm. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.